Sorry.
How about now? How about now?
Jessa, I don't know if that's gonna work.
Oh, okay. I'll stand.
Are you gonna stand?
Yeah.
You don't have to stand.
Yeah, I'll stand.
I think you look better sitting though.
Oh,
Like,
do I?
yeah.
My face looks different when I'm sitting. Got it. No, I'm kidding.
That is not what I said. That is not what I said at all.
I know. I'm messing with you. Oh, that's so funny. Okay. Welcome to Wisdom by Design, where we don't have our lives together.
No, ever.
And neither will you, and that's fine. All right. Okay.
Jessa was playing around with her camera.
Oh, yeah. Which Cam, your Cam, Sam, Samuel, is going to be laughing at us and probably hating us because we have not used our GoPros yet.
We have not, but we need to figure that out. I feel like I need some extra time, so there's no pressure.
I do too, because that's a beast. That's like a
Yes.
whole other beast.
Yes.
It's really nice though. I love it. I'm just
overwhelmed by the world. What is that?
My husband's rice.
Is what? Making noise?
Mm-hmm.
I can't hear it.
Okay, I hope you didn't hear it when it was going.
No.
Okay, because it was literally beeping like 12 times.
I did not hear anything.
I was like, really? Right when we started recording? Good. Okay. All right. So what's up, Cam?
Stuff. I went and saw my parents last week. That's where I was at. So
I think I saw you. Like,
oh yeah, you did pick me up.
I think I picked you up there. That's
cool. I forgot. I completely forgot.
Listen, you put me on a steak and shake bender, okay?
Steak and shake's so good.
Steak and shake is so good. I literally have had it like 3 times this week.
My dad was like, Freddy's and steak and shake are the same thing. And I was like, no, they're not.
The lies.
The deceit.
Mr. Dad Cam. It's not true.
It's not true. So yes, me and Jessa, I flew to Missouri and Jessa picked me up at the airport and drove me to our hometown.
Yeah,
and I stayed with my parents for 5 days, and it was just a really weird experience. Like, it felt like going back in a time machine and then seeing all the things that kind of like made you who you are. Because now that, and this is something that I found weird too, is like going back, I realized, like, I feel like I'm finally realizing they can get old and not be here anymore. Yeah. And it's once that armor comes down from thinking that they're invincible, you see how like things really are, and like the stuff that really made them who they are, and like you're like, and the things you exhibit that you got from them. And I'm like, so that's, yeah, I'm working through that right now. It'll probably take the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a lot to unpack. Yeah, absolutely. And you started experiencing that in a 5-day time span. Yeah.
Yeah. And I haven't been home for 6 years, so that's probably, yeah.
Really? Oh, yeah, that's hard.
We've been on the run.
Yeah.
How are you doing, Jessa?
I'm doing good. I'm a little overwhelmed with my workload right now, but
same.
That seems like normal for me.
Seems like a Thursday. That's what it seems like to me.
I hate that that's our normal though. Like, don't you hate that? Like,
I'm working on it. I'm working
on it too. Like, I feel like if I don't, even when I'm tired, if I don't use every freaking waking hour for something productive, I get behind.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is my schedule like this? I don't like it. Which, speaking of schedule, we're on episode what, 3?
Yes, 3.
Episode 3.
How's it feel?
Welcome back, guys.
Feels great.
Yeah.
I answered my own question.
You what?
I just answered my own question. I said, how's it feel? And I said, it feels great.
It feels fantastic. Episode 3. Yeah, I feel there's a different feeling to this season.
It is.
It's very like
growth. It feels like growth, right?
Yeah. It's neat. Like, we literally take like a break and we're like, brand new bitch, what's up?
What up? We here. New look,
New look, new
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 information, new like
energy.
yeah. We don't even know how to explain it. That's how new it is. We just got it, y'all. They just mailed it to us.
Brand new. Yeah, so yeah, I'm doing good, and we are now on season 2, episode 3.
Yes.
And welcome. What is up, dropouts? Welcome home. We are a podcast for the creative looking to enrich their life with knowledge. We won't be giving you 3 ways to get rich quick. That's not what we're about.
Nope.
We are here for the college avoider, the corporate dropout, the person burning the midnight oil on their next big project. We see you. We hear you. We are you.
We are you.
We are you. We are here to talk with you, offer up the processes that work for us in our business, and to be seriously real about the ones that suck, you guys. This might be your new fade podcast. New fade podcast.
New fade podcast.
New fade podcast.
Fade. New fade, my brother. That's what it sounded like you said. It sounded like it was a different accent.
We are professionally awkward. My name
Alex
is.
Put her hand up in front of her face like she doesn't want to see me anymore.
Our podcast manager. Listen, she's part of the new energy. Okay.
I think so.
Yeah. Like
she's the new car smell. Like
she is the new car smell. She is the reason you want to buy the car.
Yes.
Realistically, think about it.
That's it. I bought the car.
He signed, sealed, delivered the car. Okay. Everybody's gonna be like, we're done. We're signing off. We're logging off. I can't.
12 minutes. Okay, see you guys.
Yeah, see you later. Bye. Hasta luego. So Cam, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about the life of a freelancer, and we're going to go into kind of how life used to be in our jobs before now, how life is, what the hard things are, the positives are, and then some advice for people who are newly freelancers and what they can do to kind of make it all not so weird.
Weird is a great word, honestly.
It just feels unnatural sometimes.
It really does. And I feel like, because it's the dream to come home and work for yourself, right?
Yeah.
But then you get home and you're like, this isn't as easy as I thought it was going to be.
I've come to that conclusion like 5 times.
Like, what did I think was going to happen?
I don't know. I've had to like restart. Like literally it'll be like, okay, here's my task to take over the world. And it was like, that got me nowhere. Scratch. And then take over part 4. Like, I think I'm on take over part 6.
32B. Let's go.
That's where we're at. Let's go again. So
that's hilarious.
Actually kind of exhilarating though. Like that much control to rewrite the rules.
If you're an adrenaline junkie, be a freelancer. If you like not knowing when that paycheck's coming, do it. We dare you.
That was a great segue into what are the differences?
Yeah, what are the differences? So do you want to start? Do you want me to start?
I can go first.
You were in like an actual corporate position, so I would love to hear your side.
Well, yeah, that's true. So I would say the biggest one is just being home. Like when COVID started, my engineering job went to work from home, and just that amount, like just that extra time of not having to be driving to work, not having to be in someone else's, like in an office building, not having to go out to restaurants. Like I was literally able to wake up, take a shower, cook my breakfast, eat it while it's fresh, and then go to work. Before I would have to cook my breakfast, or I would wake up, take a shower, cook my breakfast, put it in a container where it's going to get weird and watery, and then take it to work, sit on my desk, act like I'm working, and then eat my food. You see, like that's a big one. And then like just the control. I think this is the other thing that goes with that is just like the control of your schedule. Like with the job I was doing, we were doing a lot of like Zoom meetings. So you just need to sit on a meeting, listen, speak when your name was called or whatever. But I knew when those meetings were going to happen. And if I need to step out for 15 minutes to go run to the post office, I could.
Right.
My boss is in there watching me. Like I have full control of my schedule. As long as I'm responsible, then I can do the things I need to do in my life. And that was huge because before you go, again, you go to your job, you sit in an office building, your boss is overwatching you because that's what that environment is, making sure the robot is doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then I would have to make time either after work or before work to go to the post office or go pay a bill or go do taxes or whatever. I'd have to wait before or after, just to make sure that I stayed close for whatever they needed, or you felt like you needed to stay close for whatever they needed. So I think those are probably the two biggest ones. And then the paycheck, like you said, the paycheck doesn't come every 2 weeks like clockwork anymore. That's a hard realization. Like I still struggle with that, and we'll talk more about that in the Patreon episode that we're filming this month's Patreon episode. So we're gonna get into some deep stuff about like the truth. We're gonna tell the truth.
We're always honest, but I feel like we're gonna just dive really, really deep into like the mental health aspect of it,
Sure.
like how it like plays into your everyday, into your family. Like that
So
stuff's not easy.
that is probably the other big thing is just not having, and then having to fight, like you're gonna have to literally scrap together or work or whatever you got to do to make that money, and that's a totally different feeling from feeling like you have a safety net or somebody giving you money every 2 weeks. So
Right.
those are
Yeah.
probably the biggest ones for me.
I just remember, so I've always worked in the food industry. Like
Yeah.
from the time I was old enough to like 18, I was working at the hospital in the DFAC, like in the back doing patient tray services. So it was constant, like I did a lot of physical labor in that job. It was constantly running around. You were sweating all the time, like you were hungry 24/7 because like they'd only give you so many breaks. And I would
They were
work,
tiny too.
I would clock in. Yeah, I would clock in at like 5 in the morning, 5 or 6 in the morning, and wouldn't clock out until like 8 p.m. at night. I only worked Saturdays and Sundays. So I would basically work an entire week in 2 days. And
Ugh.
because I was going to school full time. I was going to school full time. I worked at the hospital, and then I also worked at a nursing home. So it was just like constant back and forth.
Yeah.
Um and I worked like that for a while. Like my first 2 years of college, that's all it was. I just remember answering to other people, being exhausted. There was one time I fell my first week, I literally fell asleep sitting up. I was sitting. I was supposed to be eating and I fell asleep like this. And my boss like kicked the chair because the big boss walked in and I was like, "Oh no." He told me, he was like, because like thankfully the jobs that I have had, I've always had almost like a parental figure there, like the boss was like one of my mom's really great friends growing up. So he leaned into me and he goes, "The next time you do that, you got to pop your head up and say amen." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "That prevented me from getting kicked out of the military." He said, "When I was a private, I was so tired from all the physical labor, I fell asleep underneath a tree one time. And the drill sergeant came up and kicked his shoe and he went, 'Amen.' Yes, sir."
You need anything, sir? I wasn't sleeping at all.
But yeah, like it's exhausting. And like, but it sucks though, because I feel like, yeah, you're home. So like there's the pro. You're not missing anything. You're with your kids. Like you get to see your spouse more often. But then like I was just telling Christina last night, I feel like not having a physical place to go every single day is really hard on me. Like not having that, like physically getting ready and leaving the house, which I know sounds weird because like we don't like the soggy scrambled eggs. You're right. Like I love that I can make my breakfast every morning, but it's like really hard because like you get up and you're in your bedroom and you're like, well, why don't I just go back to sleep?
Yeah, no, that's true.
You have to have like a serious discipline,
Yeah.
and it's really hard. And like some people are like, "Oh, I would love to be home and da da da." That's great. You'd be super productive like the first 2 weeks, and then after that, you're like, "What's stopping me from sleeping in all day? Who
Or
knows?"
scrolling my phone all day.
Or playing on the phone, because at work you can't have your phone, right? You can't have your phone. When you're at home, you have to, like, I have to put my phone on do not disturb while I'm working, or I will sit there and do this
text all day, yeah.
all day long. excuse me. Yeah, all freaking day long. But I don't miss the environment. Like I don't miss the work environment because it felt like every time I was somewhere, there was always a fire to put out. Like it
Always.
and it was always your responsibility
Yeah.
or it was your fault or like I had a few jobs that like just showing up, I would show up late because I hated being there. I
Hmm.
would I would go to Panera. I would get me a hot coffee. I'm like, if they're going to have me here until 6 p.m. at night, I'm going to get me a breakfast sandwich, a salad, walk in with a latte that made me late, you know,
And not care. Yeah.
and not care because it was just such a bad environment. I didn't want to be there. It made me feel prickly. I was getting yelled at constantly by
Yep.
our customers, and it was like I was just the frontline person. I wasn't the person that was running the back end. So every time the back end failed, it was my problem. Like it was my fault, and I was the person that had to tell the client, "Hey, uh,
Oh yeah.
so sorry, I
Yeah.
don't." And I would get cussed at and screamed at and like here, I don't get cussed at.
No.
Nobody cusses at me in my house. Well, my toddler one time, but you know, like that's
My
different.
toddler
I can
all the
deal
time.
with that. You know? So yeah, like I don't know. I feel like there's always going to be the grass is greener on the other side,
Hmm.
you know, whatever until you experience both sides. I love working from home. I don't ever want to switch,
For sure.
but if I could invest in an office outside of my house, I probably would. Like hands down period just because I miss that being able to leave and
Yeah.
then leave it there and then come home.
Yeah. And that
My
makes sense.
my
Yeah.
home is my work.
Yeah.
So that part's hard.
I definitely agree with that. And I think there's another like point to that to where like being a freelancer, there's no end hour.
Yeah.
Like, you
Oh,
know, when you have a job, you can be like, well, everybody will probably be gone by 5. Or
yeah.
like you have a schedule where it's like, well, I work from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. and I know that's when it's gonna end. But I
Mhm.
feel like being a freelancer business owner, you're just like, it just doesn't stop. Like
Well,
you're getting, yeah, you're getting emails, your mind's running because again, being a creative, you're having to think of stuff. So it's just like super hard. That's super hard to separate the two. Like you
it
really
really
break out.
I have a hard time like, you know, because my hours are so funky. They're weird. You and I like we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
We have like a really weird schedule here at home. And you know, I'll be sitting
Explain
here,
them. Tell them what that is.
gosh.
Go. Go for it.
So right now, because our baby's not in school, she's about to be 4. The school that we want her to go into, she can't get in until August. So right now, I am full time stay at home mom plus full time work. I run four freaking businesses. You know, like I'm not a co owner of something, I'm running 2 other. You know, it's like this whole thing. And so, like for us, our schedule, it is literally, gosh, where do I even start? So my husband works nights. Um, I so I usually will let's just start at the end of the day. Why
Yeah.
not? We'll start at the end of the day because this is the process. Okay. So my husband leaves for work around 2. When he leaves, I usually just try to step away from my computer because I know I'm not going to get anything done. Like my baby is like, "Mom, let's go." And I'm like, "Cool, yeah, like I want to spend time with her." So, you know, I between like 2 and dinner, I have to figure out ways to get all of this energy out of this toddler.
Yep.
Okay. We go grocery shopping, we go to the park, we go and do all these different things. And then that way when we get home, I can get her in the bath, we can brush her teeth, she can have or you know, dinner before that, get her into bed. That's if she goes to bed.
Yep.
Okay. If I didn't do a good enough job of tiring her out, she's not going to
Yeah.
bed. Okay. So like yesterday I had a ton I had a meeting at 3. I had like all these emails I had to send out before a certain time, so like we didn't get as much energy out of her as I really want. I didn't get as much energy out of her as I wanted to, and so she literally didn't want to go to bed till like 10. Well, from 8 until 11 or midnight, that's my working hours.
Yep.
That's when I'm actually able to sit down. Nobody's, you know, interrupting me. It's just quiet time, me and the computer. I can just knock stuff out. Well, depending on what my workload is, I may stay up until 3, 4, sometimes 5 in the morning. and then I sleep, and then the husband wakes up with the baby. He takes his shift, and he has the baby, and then I'm usually up doing podcasts, answering emails, like all of that, and then the cycle just starts all over again.
Yep.
So like last night I made myself go to bed at like midnight because I'm like, well, we've got the podcast in the morning, so I know that I need to be up and functional for that, you know? Because if I wouldn't have gone to bed until like 3 or 4, you would have seen me like,
Hi, I'm Jessa.
I am here, you know, hair all over
Is
the
that
place.
bushy eyebrows? Is
Oh
that
yeah, yeah. That was like my bangs that I don't really have, but like you know, I have big hair. Like I got big. Why does she always have her hair up? Because it's big, you guys.
because it's a
My
lot.
hair is humongous.
A lot of hair, guys.
Got a lot of hair. So my like to me, even though I know what the process is, it still feels too hectic.
Yeah.
Like it's still really tiring and really hectic. And like I know it'll get better. And I know this is just like a rough patch because people don't think about it. Being a stay-at-home mom is a full-time job.
Full.
Then trying to add your full-time job on top of your full-time job,
Yep.
that's exhausting. I'm sitting next to my kitchen sink, you guys. If I see dishes, I'm like, I gotta go do the dishes. Did I wash that load of laundry 3 times already? I think 3 times. Oh gosh, why is it still in the washer? that is
And
that
it's
is
like days. It's been like
it,
day. Yeah.
I seriously feel like if I don't set timers or if I don't I need to wear like a kitchen timer on my shirt so I know like whenever it goes off it reminds me to go do it. Like I have to set timers to remind myself to do things because if I don't it will literally sit in the washer for like 2 days. So, here you go, moms.
Here you go, moms. And that was another thing that I didn't really notice. I'll just say I didn't appreciate all the way. When I had my corporate job, it would just be one of those things where it's like, well, Cameron goes to work, and I'd be
Yeah.
like, see ya. And
Yeah.
then I would
Bye.
be back at like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And then Alex is exhausted by then
Yeah.
because she dealt with the baby. And now being home, I see how much work he is like, and how much you're trying to do something. He's like, hey, I need your attention because I'm gonna throw something at like the
Yeah.
dog, or I'm gonna like I'm really
Well,
gonna
yeah.
hurt myself for something. So
Yes.
it just they have to have your undivided attention, but that means that now more of your time is going to that instead of what you really
Right. Well,
in your
and
mind is going.
yeah, people talk about work-life balance, work-life
Yeah.
balance. You guys, there's no such thing.
No.
Like there's some days you have to be the business owner and there's
Yep.
some days you have to be mom. Like I know it sucks, but like you can't balance both. Like you have to have a realistic idea of, you know, some days like set like you know, Sophie and I had a really bad day because I haven't been able to spend much time with her. My workload has been ridiculous and I've
Yeah.
been staying up super late, sleeping in, like trying to, you know, catch up. And so, and I noticed that when I don't spend a lot of time with her, she does act out. And like, duh,
Mhm.
we are literally the only sources of life for our kids right now.
Yep.
We are we are the only people who can play with them. We're the
Yep.
only people who can,
Teach
you know,
them anything.
teach them,
Yeah.
interact with them,
Mhm.
keep them, you know, happy and healthy.
Mhm.
And so like it's just a struggle because some days you are going to have to put on that boss hat because you have deadlines and you're like, crap, I can't, you know, so that's when you have to come up with a babysitter. That's when you
Yep.
have to, you know, maybe like make a play date or something. It's hard. It is
Yeah.
really hard. Like if
It's very different.
COVID was just like, hey, screw you. Screw you.
And the way you live your life, and
The
I'm
way
going to
you live
ruin
your
it.
life, whatever. Have fun.
Yep.
And we'll see how you make it out at the end.
Battle to the finish.
Battle yeah, but it's true. Like, you know, I remember when I first tried doing this full time and like don't get me wrong, my husband has been the main support. He's the only reason I even started doing any of this. Like he was like, you're not happy at your other jobs, you're miserable. Like my mental health was shit. When I was working for other people, I was a complete wreck. I was having panic attacks every day. Like what my anxiety was out of control. I mean, hives, freaking, you know, stress cleaning everything. It was bad. And it was because of the it didn't feel good. Nothing at those other jobs felt good. And I would be there thinking about being at home answering client emails, so I was a horrible employee. I was. When I love something, I work hard. When I love something, I work hard. I don't. Like
I feel the same way.
I know that sounds really shitty.
Well, okay. Yeah. I don't think I'm the same way. I take that back.
I
Because it was kind of like I was okay with it as long as someone else was seeing value in me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's true.
As long as I was getting praise, I was okay with it.
Right.
But then I realized the praise was fake.
Yeah. I would just do enough to get my job done and go home. Like in the beginning, I would do everything, but then I became the person that, oh, well, Jessa will do it. Jessa will do it. Like I was always the person that got called if somebody was calling out because I always said yes. Like I would be worked to death. So then I'd start getting lazy and I'm like, no, like I don't, but I never had enough to speak up and say, hey, because I didn't think that was allowed. Oh, well, they're paying me, so I owe them my life.
Woo. Yes. That's it.
That's not a way to live.
It's not a way to live.
That's not a way to live. Nope. I'm so proud of one of my friends. One of my friends literally just took like a whole week off. She was like, I have all this vacation and I haven't taken it off because my boss said they needed me. And she was like, and I finally said, screw it, I'm taking my vacation. Yep. And I'm like, good. But way back to what we were talking about, like my husband is the main reason that, like I'm doing this and all that. But in the beginning, when I first started doing this full time during COVID, it was really hard because he would come home working all day long, manual labor. Like he has a very, very physical job. Yep. And the house would be trashed. I mean, trashed. And he's Tornado. Like, what did you do? Like, what did you do? I'm like, what do you mean? What did I do? Have you met your kid?
Yeah.
Once he started seeing like being home with her, especially like we got stuck home together for a whole month because of COVID. He was like, oh no.
I'm so sorry. You see it and you're just like, yeah, I am sorry that the world said that this was how it's supposed to be. And it just doesn't. No. Well, let's take care of this. Like, let's do something to make it easy.
It is a team. You need a team. Yeah. You really do. You really do.
You really do. All right. So, okay. That I think we can go into some advice.
Yeah. So we did our pros and cons. Yeah. So yeah, thanks guys for listening. Anyway, so now we're going to talk about the things that we have found that have really helped us. They're not tried and true. You guys, we don't have all of the answers, but
we're learning just like you are.
Yeah, we're learning just like you are, but these are things that have definitely helped us find our way being a freelancer. So one of my things is establishing that routine. Yeah. It is so freaking important. Like I literally sat down one day and just made a schedule. And I said, like, here is the Rodriguez schedule. And I put it on the refrigerator to help me because sometimes I forget. Like I'm like, you don't have a time clock to punch into. You don't have anybody saying, hey, you need to go on your lunch break. Like you have to make a schedule. So seriously, sit down and make a freaking schedule.
Yeah. Me and Alex were talking about ours this morning. We were just trying to, because our mornings are just so packed because we're all existing at the same time, trying to get like the day going. Yes. So we're moving things around so that I can walk in pretty quickly right into work and get that there maybe a little bit earlier.
Right.
So the schedule is huge. It's hard. It's hard though. It is.
Yeah, hard. It is hard. And like everybody's going to be different. Like again, I'm a night owl. I get all of my work done during the night because I know, I'm not going to get it done during the day. It's just not going to happen. So, if you know that that's what's going to work for your family, do it like that. Your schedule is not going to look like a typical 9 to 5 like everybody else's unless your kid goes to school. If your kid goes to school and your spouse has other things to do, fantastic. Then do that.
Yeah.
I won't see that until August, but
August is almost here. I just realized it's April. I
It's
thought it
April.
was closer to like June
No,
or
Cam. It's April. It's almost May though.
it is. It's gonna be
So
May.
about like 3 months. It's
It's
fine.
gonna be May.
It's
She doesn't
fine.
get it yet. It's
It's
gonna
gonna
be May. It's
it's
gonna be May.
oh no, Cameron.
We had a Britney Spears lyric in the last one. Justin Timberlake this
They're
one.
gonna like sue us for
No,
what is
I just said the words.
I
It's
know,
there's
I
no
I know.
protection on
We were
words.
singing like the whole song the last time. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Um, what's another thing that can help? What's another thing that you found has
Um.
helped you guys?
I would definitely say schedule is huge. I would definitely say it's almost like in the schedule thing is like creating systems. So like for us, we take Monday to clean the house just to
Mhm.
make sure that the house is generally clean, so we make it all week.
Right.
And then we take Tuesday to just work on power and like work on like building the business type of stuff.
I love.
Um, and then that Monday we always have a meeting because my wife works with me on that the system type of thing. So
Yes.
we sit down, we have a meeting at when Cass is sleeping, and then in that meeting we talk about the week. So we go into ClickUp, which we use for organizing. We've used a bunch of different stuff. ClickUp has been the best. So this is
ClickUp
a
is so awesome.
yeah. So we go in, we set up ClickUp, we go through emails from last week, we delete stuff, we clean up phones if we need to delete
Ooh.
anything, to clean up the computer, delete files off of it, just make everything very streamlined so that it works the best for you.
You know what? Can you do me a favor? Could you
Yes.
seriously like write out like how your guys' week looks? Like this day is set for this day is set
Yeah,
for
for
this.
sure.
And then that way I can maybe do like an example blog for the people
Yeah,
that want to know more about it.
I can do that
Like
because
I
I
can
guess
put
I didn't
my
think it was
email
that
schedule.
special,
No,
but
that's like seriously, I've heard about A and
Alex
B.
said compliment her more.
I will compliment Alex more. You literally married the queen of systems. She's the only reason we are functional adults, Cam, and you know it. He laughs, but it's true.
It's true.
But no, seriously, like I've had a hard time because I feel like every day needs everything. And I feel
Yes.
like a lot of creatives feel that way. So the fact that you guys have divided, hey, Mondays are for meetings and cleaning up literally everything, cleaning the house, cleaning your files, cleaning your
Yep.
phone. Okay, Tuesdays are for this specific business.
Yep.
This is a great time to check this, check this, check that. Like if we could set that up as an example for our people, we could put that on Patreon and
Yeah.
like that's really cool. That's a
Yeah.
really great tool.
Because yeah, and then so Tuesday we use for power, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is for business calls. So that's something that's different from how I was doing it before. I think I got this from Sarah, but doing specific days for again for specific things, then
Mhm.
you're not worried about people calling you all week. So now
Oh,
you can only get in contact me and set up a meeting Wednesday,
mhm.
Thursday, or Friday.
I
Anything
love
outside of that, I'm not available. And that's
that.
even for the people I'm contracting with, like the companies I'm contracting with and working with. Those are the 3 days I'm open, and then I only make very special like I only make those other days very like they're I don't give it to everybody. So
Right.
like I hold those that time sacred. So when you do it that way, you can know what to expect. Some days you're gonna get a lot done. Some days you're gonna get a little done, and it's nice to make room in your week so it kind of doesn't all run together. You can set up objectives for different parts of the week and then really get a control on it. So Tuesdays, if I know I'm going to have a big week, I stay up from Cass will go to bed at like 8, and I'll
Mhm.
stay up till midnight, and I'll just get a head start on the week. And then
Right.
by that Friday, most of the time I don't have anything to do because I did it already.
Look at
Um,
that.
you see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
and
that's
sometimes things do
awesome.
go into Saturday or Sunday, but most of the time, if we can get a head start on Tuesday, we're usually fine.
How do you feel about I feel okay, so setting boundaries.
Yeah.
Being a freelancer and setting boundaries. You said, okay, hey, you can only message me Wednesday, Thursdays, and Fridays.
Yeah.
I am trying to set like a really strict guideline with my clients because I was the person getting the 72 text messages. You guys, like I wish I was kidding. Like
Yeah.
I there was one day I literally like I said I put my phone on do not disturb. This is why. I had 21 text messages. I had 3 voicemails. Like I had I always get over 100 emails a day from different clients, different projects that I'm working on. It gets extremely overwhelming.
Oh, for sure.
So I
got
started
something for you though. I do have some advice for that.
I started telling everybody, if you want me, email me. Unless it is extremely
Yes.
important, email me. And the only time, and I only check my emails during certain times.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. I just hired a virtual assistant, you guys. Oh, it's amazing. She checks my emails for me and sends me a list of to-dos.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes.
Alex
Like she checks it. Uh-huh.
I said Alex does that for me.
Yeah, I know, because you married a queen. Said that. We don't all get to marry Alex.
I'm sorry.
No, it's funny. Alex, I hope you feel fantastic because you're wonderful.
You're wonderful.
You're wonderful. So, but yeah, like you whatchamacallit. But she'll check my emails between 3 and 5:30 so my clients know when somebody's going to get to them, because I get so I get overwhelmed if I have to check emails, if I have to check text messages, phone calls, and then I have to try to do the work.
Yep.
My brain explodes. I can't handle it. So I literally say, I will respond to you if I can get to you. If not, I know that my virtual assistant will be there from this time to this time. And I lay that out. Like they know Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, somebody will get to them between 3 and 5:30.
That's perfect. I love that.
And if I can, I check my emails in the morning and I answer whoever messaged me, from the night before or whoever didn't get to it. And then we start all over again.
That's great.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Set those boundaries, guys.
The other thing Sarah told me that she kind of does is to she's everything she does in her process of like working with clients is laid out so tightly that basically she has a I'm gonna send. She does it ahead of time. So basically, all the meetings for the whole client interaction is already laid out, and then before you even have feedback, she sent you an email that's like, "Well, I'm gonna send you, or we're gonna go through the meeting and go through all the stuff that I have to present to you, and then that email I sent you, reply to that." So it even streamlines it even more to where the system is now controlling the interaction. They never have to email you extra, or you never have to add, it's already there.
Yeah. No, Sarah, seriously, you guys, 99 in SaintClare, Sarah is amazing when it comes to her systems. She sent Kam and I a couple of her her website templates. Oh my gosh. It literally has everything that client needs to collect before they even start their project.
Yes.
It's out of this world.
So we're working there. That's just a great example that I've seen.
It is. It really is, because I have
automation. Yeah.
Automation and that system. If you can, I think it was you. Was it you who taught me? Sit down and literally write out from start to finish the client experience. From start to finish, where do they contact you? Okay, what does that look like? Literally, they go to my website.
Yes.
They fill out a contact form. It sounds redundant, but seriously, you don't realize how many steps are in between and how many of those steps you can automate to save time for yourself.
Yep.
It's insane. So wild. Do that. Do
it.
Oh my gosh.
Do we have any more?
Well, I was gonna say, Sarah's doing it right, because I realized I had a client thread that had over 100 messages in it, and we had only been working together for 3 weeks. So yes.
People talk to you too much. I don't get in. No one talks to me. I don't know, dude. When I saw that number, because Honeybook tells you, when I saw that number, I was like, I ain't making enough for this.
That's right. But it feels like that, because if you don't lay out the guidelines, if you don't say, hey, this, or me, I didn't know what to tell them. I don't know. They have all these questions, and I'm like, man, I guess I really could have put something there to help them with that before I even got to it.
Yeah.
Don't be like me, guys. Don't be like me.
Don't be like Jessa. The automation of your life is so important now as a freelancer, because things you don't have the time to touch everything. So sometimes things need to just happen.
Hire people when you can afford them.
That's it. Yes.
Guys, that's like the next when you are ready to
Yeah.
level up, and you'll know when you're ready to level up because you're freaking overwhelmed and you don't have time for things. If there are things that you cannot stand doing, pass them off to somebody else.
Yeah.
You can afford help. I think that's the one thing I was always scared of was, oh, well, I don't want to pay somebody else because that's money that could be in my pocket.
Yep.
I got to pay bills, so let me do it. Well, if I would have just paid that person $60 to finish it, I wouldn't still be working on it 3 days later.
At your rate, at whatever.
At my
Yeah.
Yes, at my rate, that's 3 days worth of my time, like,
Yep.
that I did not get paid for. So save yourself time and pay that person. And if you need help, like literally go online and type in editor
It's
or
there.
something,
Yeah.
graphic design, logos. I sent them to Kam.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have time. I take too long on them. Send them to Kam. You just have to see what is worth your time. What do you enjoy?
The cool thing about it is you're actually like building a team. Like
Yes.
you're building like a family almost into like the things that you're working on.
And I freaking love it.
Yeah. So, and
Yeah.
I guess that's one huge difference is like, I feel like the people that are actually like, I would consider them almost like coworkers are actual coworkers and they actually like care, because if they didn't care, they didn't have to be here. Like if like you didn't care about like us being close and doing this podcast, you could go do literally anything else that you wanted to do.
Right.
So that is a huge difference. And
Yeah.
building the teams thing, and that's why I've been watching. I don't know if you watched it before, Undercover Billionaire, and they always talk about like when you create something that is like, you're creating something bigger than yourself, and sometimes you don't have the money to do it, and sometimes you have to inspire. Hopefully you, when you're working on something, you inspire others to want to join in and work with you on that project.
Yes.
Sometimes those people who are working with you for no money
Yeah.
are some of the best people, and they called it like sweat equity, because once we get this going, we're taking off. Like we'll have whatever you need, anything you need, we got it. So sometimes it's just maybe asking someone, hey, can you help me? I can't pay you right now. We can trade services, or once I get here, I plan on bringing you on and you doing this, blah blah blah, or working out some type of contract or work. Most of the time, people don't ask, and that's really the issue. Is when you don't ask for help, then you don't know if people are going to help you. And then sometimes just saying, "Hey, I don't got it. I can do anything you need me to do in other areas."
Well,
it's enough.
Yeah. I think people get scared of that because like in my situation, I did that so much that I was getting taken advantage of, and I know you know that. Like so, but in the same sense, when you know that there's another person that's willing to put in as much work as you are and they're proving that, that's a whole other story. Like I have done amazing trades with some really cool people that if I wouldn't have spoke up and asked, I wouldn't have had their resource. They wouldn't have had my resource. Like I've traded, design and logo or website time for them to help me out with, a vendor or a photo shoot or something. Like there's always a really cool way of, as long as you're giving value and they're giving value back, it's a healthy relationship.
You just have to be honest.
Yes,
that's honesty time.
Be honest. Yeah, absolutely. But and that I feel like all of this always boils down to just building your community.
That's it.
Every single time, finding your community, finding your people, and running with it. Yes. Because when you're afraid to reach out, when you're secluding yourself, that's when you get stuck. That's seriously the one place you're going to get stuck, and you're going to sit there and you're not going to have anybody to bounce off of. You're not, everything's going to feel a lot bigger than it actually is because you don't have anybody to talk it through with.
And there's people out there who are going through the same things as you, so that always helps as like maybe mitigate issues before they happen. And that's advice, and you can't beat any of those. And it just makes me realize that as human beings, we can't work in this hamster wheel by ourselves.
No,
it doesn't
we are social. We are social beings. Even me, I'm a homebody. I love being home. I'm still a social person. I still
Yeah.
need to have people on my side that I know support me and are able to like, and I can support them. Like it's almost like an energy.
You should, yeah, you have to try it.
That energy up. Our coffee breaks. I look
I love
forward to
them.
our freaking coffee breaks I'm like, only every 2 weeks, darn it.
Yeah. I get sad when they have to be canceled. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, because they're so like we literally sit down and we get to talk about what we're struggling with, what we're having fun with, like what's a good way to start creativity. You get to talk about all those things with people who are doing exactly what you're doing.
Yep.
It's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah. And when you get a chance, set up groups like that. Meet people who are at your level, who are above your level, who are below your level, and y'all just be cool. Like, just hang out.
Yes.
Like, it's
Absolutely.
important. It'll help your creativity. It'll help your business. You'll learn more than you ever thought you would have. So
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. That's so cool. Well, is there anything else that we're missing?
I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Episode 3.
Thank you guys. I hope you guys were able to take even a small tiny nugget of what we were saying. Oh, what?
I said nuggets.
Nuggets. Oh man, nugget. The couch.
I forgot about that.
Sorry, that's funny. Google it, guys. I don't know. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're back to being professionally awkward, successfully awkward.
We did it. We do it at least once an episode.
Do it several times an episode. Don't take
At
away our
but we have to give them like hope that it happens, like it'll happen again.
It's true. It's true. So thanks for tuning in, guys, for another episode of Wisdom by Design. If you would like to, please reach out to us. We want to hear you. We want to see you. We want to be your friend. You can find us on Instagram at Wisdom by Design Podcast. You can find us on YouTube at the exact same thing. Everything's spelled exactly as it sounds. We're on every single streaming platform for podcasts ever, which is awesome to say.
I love it. It's great.
I love it.
Thank you, Anchor.
Yeah, thank you, Anchor. Seriously, you guys, Anchor's the shit.
It's pretty great.
It is. And then if you guys want to drop us a line, if you want to see and learn more about what we're doing, head over to our website, wisdombydesignpodcast.com.
Yes.
And
yeah, and the last thing is, if you feel like you do need a community and you're lonely out here and you need a little help, and we do have a Patreon where you can join and kind of get more insight and get more access to us as who we are as Jessa and Kam. So that's at Wisdom by Design Podcast over at Patreon. So if you guys want to join us and support us, that's where we will be. So we
hope to see it. We hope to see you there because we have a lot of fun over there.
Yes,
so I'm Jessa.
And I am Cameron. And that was episode 3.
And this is Wisdom by Design. See you later.
By the design.
By the design.